Hello everyone, I'm Zhang Jiahui. I'm willing to present a topic called Types of Chinese Characters. If you are interested in Chinese or you have already learned some Chinese, perhaps you could obtain more knowledge from today's presentation. Let's begin. As we know, Chinese language is the oldest continuous written language in the world. First written over 5,000 years ago. The inventors of the written language draw pictures to express words or ideas. Simple pictures were combined to make more complex meanings. Written language is a virtual simple system, which is based on the spoken language, so the character's function is to convert the spoken language onto the written one. Also, Chinese character is a square-shaped. As all other characters in the world, the Chinese characters record the Chinese language from the beginning. And how does Chinese characters record Chinese language? That is the interesting question. The Chinese characters represent the speech constituent of Chinese by its written form, so it has the three elements: figure, sound, and meaning. Perhaps the correspondence between the Chinese characters units and the speech constituent is a confusion. Sometimes one unit represents a Chinese word, sometimes it is a morpheme, and other time it is a syllable. Chinese characters were initially meant to be simple pictures used to help people remember things. After a long period of development, it finally became a unique character system. Look at the Chinese character structure. We can see their shapes are usually round outside and square inside. Because in ancient China, people have limited places to live and don't know this world very well. So most of the time, they use their imagination and intuition to understand or explain the world. They believe that sky is orbicular and the earth is rectangular. So how Chinese characters were invented has always been a question. There are three well-known views, namely keep records by tying notes, the 8 diagrams, 八卦, and Zhang Jiahui created the characters. Right now, I would like to say more details about them. At first, Asian men invented a kind of relying on physical memories method in a long time practice. That is, we are familiar with the note rope to remember method. Many ancient Chinese documents have records on note rope. How to tie a rope and remember things. After the expert examination, it is believed that Asian men were tied to a wooden stick with the ropes of different lengths and thicknesses. These ropes are tied with a variety of notes. The note distance from the stick is different. The size is different. The method of tying the note is different, representing different meanings. Some notes are also painted with color, representing different meanings. The next origin comes from the Chinese 八卦. 八卦 is Asian Chinese divinatory conforms, each one representing a different meaning. From the point of view of the composition of the strokes, the 8 trigrams conform, and Chinese characters do have a few similarities. They are square, horizontal, and vertical. In terms of usage, there are also similarities between Bagua conform and Chinese characters. For example, a Bagua conform represents one meaning, while in ancient Chinese also a character expresses one meaning. Therefore, they believe that the origin of some Chinese characters may indeed be related to Bagua conformation, and it's likely that it was inspired by the Bagua conformation that humans in ancient time created more conformations. For example, earlier scripts, and to express their source. In legend, there was a man named Zhang Jiahui, who was an official historian of Huangdi. It was said that he had 4 eyes, and the upper 2 were for watching the sun, the moon, and the stars, while the lower 2 for watching mountains, rivers, beasts, and birds. And as the legend goes, he had created the Chinese characters according to the shapes of all things. So he has a title of Sage of Character Creation. But it's impossible for any single person to create a complicated character system at one time. So the characters are actually developed by many people gradually in a long process of invention, accumulation, and evolution. And next slide shows us the development of Chinese characters. From Shang to Wei Jing dynasty, Chinese characters have a lot of changes. At first, scripts on bones or shells. We call this form of script is oracle. When the time goes to the earlier Zhou and the later Zhou dynasties, earlier steel characters appeared, and later new formation, later cell characters were created in the Qing dynasty. From Han to Wei Jing dynasty, we have a running hand. Within this long term, other 3 forms of characters were appeared and affect each other. They are scripts on bronze, official scripts, and regular scripts. Those forms of characters divided 2 types of Chinese characters. One is ancient characters, and other is modern characters. In this slide, I put lots of writing works here. They were written by different kinds of script. I hope you can see the differences between them. Right now, I will tell you about oracle bones script, bronze inscriptions, seal script, Li Shu, and regular script. So what is oracle bone script? Oracle bone script is carved by a knife. Very little is written. Because words have not unified, many words can write back, strokes simplified differ. Chinese characters component is not fixed, and so many variant characters. The oldest Chinese inscriptions are the oracle bone script. Perhaps only about half of known oracle bone logographs can be identified with the later Chinese characters, and therefore easily read. And next is bronze inscriptions. Also, we can call Jingwen. Jingwen is is the name of an ancient Chinese calligraphy style, referring to the inscriptions cast on bronze vessels of the Yin and Zhou dynasties, also called Zhongdingwen. China entered the Bronze Age in Xia dynasty, and the technology of melting copper and manufacturing bronze wares was very developed. Because copper was also called gold in the Zhou dynasty. The inscription on bronze vessels were called Jingwen or Jijing script. And because the number of characters on these bronze vessels was the most on the bell and the tripod, they were also called Zhongdingwen in the past. The seal script can also be called as script of Qin, including 大篆 and 小篆. At the beginning of the Qing dynasty, the first emperor contented the idea that written script should be standardized in form because the character forms were different from area to area in Zhou times. It was said that Li Si complied that the script emerged finally. In order to make writing more time-saving, he invented a new form which was appreciated by the first emperor. It was Li Shu. The formation of the official script is an important turning point in history because it lies a foundation for the scholarship of Chinese characters. And it says that regular script emerged in the later Han period is a kind of more beautiful and simpler form and could set and a good example for writing. So it's called 楷书 in Chinese because 楷 means good examples. In addition, famous calligraphers such as Yan Zhenqing and Liu Gongquan left quantities of masterpieces for us. The development of Chinese characters grew into a higher level. The next one is the running script. It emerged that at the end of the Eastern Han period is a kind of form between regular script and cursive script. It has a high artistry and practicality. And in Chinese characters, there are 4 types of words. This part is the most important one in my presentation. I will introduce them from 2 different ways. One is formation, second is a function. So first type of the word we called pictographs, forming characters by strokes describing the shapes of the objects. For example, the characters 日 and 木 look like the shapes of the sun and the tree. So 日 in Chinese means sun and 木 means the tree. The picture in the lower left corner, we can see 2 Chinese characters. The upper line is painted with mountains. We can compare the shapes of the pictures and the character. We can see that they are very similar. So this Chinese character means mountain. In the second line of picture, we can see a big rock based on the appearance of the stone. Earlier Chinese characters were created and then develop into the Chinese characters that appeared at the end of the picture. This word means stone. We pronounce shan. So shan in Chinese means mountain, means stone in the mountain. And in the next slide, there are more examples. Between the scripts in the first line and the characters in the second line, we can see some similarities between or based on the shape. And we go to the second type of word. It is ideographs, forming characters by combining two or more components which can express combining meaning or idea. For example, the character xiu is expressed by combining two components. One on the left side of stroke means human, and the right side is a tree, which means a person lying on the tree. So this character means have a rest. And other character, wei, also have two combining parts. On the left, it has the same stroke like xiu, which means a person, but on the right side, it has li. Li as a stroke means stand for. So combining these two parts together, we can easily to know the place of person to stand. So character wei means position in Chinese. Ideographs is to remedy the limitations of pictograph and create a method of creating characters. So combined with pictophonetic and referring to things, the ideograph method has obvious advantages. At first, it can express many abstract meanings. Secondly, it has a strong function of making characters. The third type of the words is indicatives, forming use position to express idea, also can have directions and numbers. For examples, in the slide, I marked 3 characters with a red circle. They are shang, xia, and zhong. We can see that each of them show the clear position or direction in the character, which can express what is exactly what meaning they are. Indicatives is an abstract method of making characters when it's not available or inconvenient to draw in a concrete image. It's represented by an abstract symbol. The 2 characters, shang and xia, are horizontal. The line curve is a boundary. Use a point or a short line on the horizontal position to indicate the position above, and write it as shang, which means up, and the symbol xia under horizontal line means down in Chinese. So place a square at the center of the vertical line, and zhong means middle in Chinese. The last type is pictophonetic characters, forming characters by combining the component indicating the meaning with the component representing the sound. The method is the most productive one among all characters formations because of 2 reasons. The first one, it enables Chinese characters to represent both sound and meaning, and to evolve into phonography eventually. The second one is the way to which one pictorial component usually associated with one semantic category can form a lot of characters. So here, I found many examples. Lots of different words have the same pronunciation, but different meanings. And in each character has two parts. The left side helps us to know the meaning. The right side can tell us how to read. There are many ways to combine the shapes and sound of the pictophonetic characters. Some shapes are on the left and the sound sides are on the right. Some are on the top and the sound sides are on the bottom. Some are on the side outside and the sound side is inside. So pictophonetic characters is adapted to the needs of recording Chinese with its half phonetic and half ideographic structural model. It can not only express sound but also express form. It's the most productive way of making characters, and it has become the main method of creating Chinese characters. In Kaiti Chinese characters, more than 90% of the characters are pictophonetic characters, and the new characters can still be created. And the last part of my presentation is a video about the development of Chinese characters from Chinese zodiac animals. So let me try to open it. Please enjoy it. That's all my presentation. Hope you guys liked today's presentation. Thank for your attention. Bye bye. 再见。